What's going on, everybody? David here, and we are back with another video or another live stream. We're going to talk about safety today. So we'll talk about travel safety, just different things that I do in order to stay safe when I travel. And I just remembered that I forgot my wallet, but I'll just kind of talk about it. It's not a big deal. We can kind of go over some of the things that I do and don't do when I travel. So I'm going to wait a few minutes, probably a couple minutes. We'll just do a little, make sure everything is going okay with the stream, which it looks like it is. If you do come in the chat, please, or if you come in to watch the stream, please just send me a chat saying hi, just so I know that you're there. And I also know that you can hear me and everything and there are no issues. And we'll talk, like I said, we'll talk a little bit. First, I like to start with a travel credit card, just to kind of review a credit card, and then get into the main topic, which will be travel safety. And then we'll do some Q&A at the end where we can just kind of talk about our experiences. I can tell you some of the experiences that I've heard of, that I've seen. Luckily, I haven't, knock on wood, I haven't been in a situation where I've been taken advantage of in the system, or in a situation where I've been victimized or anything like that. So I don't have any stories like that to share, but I have heard certain things, and I've seen things that just seen things pretty much online that basically put out there a lot of different things that are going on that are crazy. So just be aware of those kind of things. So like I said, if you do come in the chat, just say hi, let me know that you're here. And the first thing we'll do is we'll go over a credit card. Let me just switch to the screen here, have it set up. So we're going to look at the Explorer card today. So the United Explorer card. I don't know about you, but I've been seeing a lot of commercials for this card. And so they're really pushing this card. Now this is a Chase card. Obviously it's for United Airlines, and it looks like a really good card. I just applied for the business version. I just got accepted for that yesterday. So I'll have that card probably in about a week. And maybe next week I'll do a review of the business card, as well as show you the business card that I got. There's a reason why I went with business over the regular personal card. One is I have a business. Two is the Business Explorer card is giving 75,000 bonus points, as opposed to the 40,000 that we have with the regular card. So that's the main reason why I went with that card. I could have gone either way. Most of my travel is business related because I do photography, so I travel and take pictures, and then I sell my prints. So that's a part of the business that I do, my photography business. So it was okay for me to kind of go that route. And I guess I can kind of talk about that a little bit while we're waiting for more people to come on. When it comes to travel, when it comes to credit cards, I like to keep them separate. So I will, if I have personal cards, I use those primarily for personal reasons. I have a home-based business, so that allows me to make a lot of purchases for things around my place. You know, it's still business related because it could be a home office, or I could be getting equipment for things like I'm doing now. So if I need to buy lights, if I need to buy a new computer, if I need to buy a desk, a variety of different things they still fall under business expenses. So I would use my business card for those purchases. Now, when it comes to things that are more personal, let's say I go out to the movies or something like that, well, that's going to be, I'll use my other credit card for that, or my personal credit cards. Or let's say if I'm going to a restaurant, whatever, just a variety of different things. You can imagine all the different things you use for personal use. But when it comes to my business related stuff, I like to use business credit cards for that. And one of the main reasons, you're supposed to do that. That's the reason why you have business cards. But the other thing is I like to separate my business expenses from my personal expenses. That way at the end of the year, all I need to do is look at all my business expenses, and I'll know, okay, this is all business related. I don't have to look and say, okay, well, I bought this camera, but this camera was for personal use. It wasn't for my business and that kind of stuff. I can just look at everything that I have on there, and I know that it's all business related. So that's generally the way that I go with that. If you guys have come on the chat, just say hi. Let me know where you're coming from, and let's go ahead and take a look at this card right now. So this is a really good card, and you have to look at, when you look at airline cards, you have to understand one thing. Generally, you're not going to get really good earn possibility with these cards, and they're not really designed for that. They will give you different perks that will pretty much offset that annual fee if you use the card. So if I'm flying, the first thing that I always look for is I want to make a commitment to an airline. So if I'm willing to make a commitment, let's say I'm willing to make the commitment to fly on United and use United as my primary air carrier, then I'll go with getting that card. I did the same thing with American, the American Airlines Advantage card, which I've had for a few years now, and I made that commitment to fly with American. I'm at a point now where I'm kind of looking at, yeah, I don't really like American Airlines, just the customer service and everything like that. Now, this is stuff that I didn't know offhand. I flew with American Airlines a couple of times and it was fine. But then recently, last year, I took a couple of flights, and even the year before that, I took a couple of flights, and the customer service just wasn't there. They were losing my bags. They're just delays, not giving me information. There was a situation where the night before, it was like 11:30 at night, and I had a flight at 6 a.m. the next morning. They sent me an email. They didn't text me, didn't call me, anything like that. Sent me an email saying that my flight was canceled and that they were doing everything they could do to book me on another flight. But sending me an email is not going to help me out at 11:30 at night. I just happened to check my email before I went to bed, but let's say I didn't check my email, I would have been in a bad situation where I would have got up in the morning for my flight, like got up early because it was a 6 a.m. flight. So I would have had to, I was supposed to be at the airport at 3 in the morning. So I would have gotten up really early to get to this flight, and then find out that, oh, my flight was canceled and now they're booking me on another flight, which could have been any time. So it was really kind of a bad deal. That was the kind of the last straw. That was the last flight that I took. And it didn't stop there. I mean, it got to the point where I had to call myself, because I called at 11:30 when I got the email, and then rebooked. Was able to get on another flight. That flight was a horrible flight, and then I ended it with the end of my trip, and then we had a couple of delays too. I didn't say that. So went to San Francisco, had a delay at San Francisco. There were some maintenance issues with the plane. Then we switched over to another terminal, and they were going to move the plane, I guess. They were going to fix it and move it. So they weren't able to move it. They moved us back to the same terminal. They had to get another plane to come in. Then they had issues with the flight crew. The flight crew didn't have enough rest, so we had to wait. And I can't even remember. I was on my way to Paris, so I can't remember how long that whole thing was. But we ended up not flying for, I was late to the point where I had a long layover when I got to, I believe I went to Houston. I was so delayed that I almost missed that connector. So it was just a nightmare. And then on my way back, they lose my luggage when I get back to LAX, to Los Angeles. So it's just crazy deal. But all right, so I see there's like 13 people in here. Please say hi. Let me know that you're here. And oh, you guys are already saying hi. So my thing isn't open right now, so I'm not able to see for whatever reason. Let's see if I can fix that really quick. I don't know why my chat box isn't open on my thing here. Give me 1 second. All right, so that's not going to work. Let me just open this one up here. So you guys have been saying stuff, and I haven't even been able to see it. All right, so we got it open here. All right, let's go ahead and give some shout outs here. Jeremy, how you doing? Nika, how's it going? And World Walker, how you doing? Okay, so we'll get started. We'll talk about the card real quick, and then we'll get into talking about travel safety, because I think that's really important when it comes to travel. Chris, how you doing? David, how you doing? And Sharon, how you doing? Okay. Okay, so this card here, like I said, they've really been pushing this card. I see advertisements on TV all the time about this card, and I think it's one of the better cards when it comes to airline cards. And we're talking kind of the mid-range card, the $95 annual fee card. So you can compare this with the Advantage card. And Delta, I'm not really into Delta cards. I can't even think of the name of the Delta card. If you guys can remember it, just put it in the chat. But yeah, so let's look at the card. So first off, you're gonna get the bonus. It's 40, or let's talk actually the annual fee. The annual fee is $95. It is waived the first year, so that's really good. So you can keep the card for a year, and this is really important when you're looking at cards like this. Look for the card if it's an airline card. Look for the cards that have that zero annual fee. Most of them do, but it gives you a chance to get on that plane, see if you really like it, and fly with them a couple of times. Use points to fly if you can, and then you can make your decision next year if you want to keep the card or not. So the bonus here, so the bonus is 40,000 bonus points. You get that after spending $2,000 within the first 3 months, and so that's not bad. I have seen them higher. I've seen the point bonuses up to 70,000 for the personal, and the business right now is 75,000. So it will go up higher than this. My advice is if you can hold off and not get the card right away, I would hold off for a little bit and see if that bonus goes up a little bit. And I would think that it probably will go up in probably summertime. They'll probably boost it up just a little bit. All right, and that's just my prediction. That has nothing to do with, I don't have any inside knowledge or anything like that when it comes to that. All right, so what else do you get here? You get a free check bag, you get priority boarding. So these two things are really big, and that's the reason why you would want to get a card and keep an airline card. Because like I said, when we get to the earn possibility, you're gonna see the earn possibility is really not that great. But if I can get a free check bag and priority boarding, those are two things that are really important to me, because the free check bag alone is what, $30, $25 to $30 for that. And then the priority boarding will allow me to get on the plane before the general boarding. That way I can get my bags all situated and get comfortable on the plane. I don't have to worry about it. And United, if you're way back in the line, United, they don't hesitate to check your carry-ons. So just be aware of that too. Okay, you get 2 club passes. So United Club Passes, not the greatest lounge in the world, but it is great. It will complement, let's say if you have priority pass and you go to an airport and you want, there are 2 things. You go to an airport that doesn't offer any priority pass lounges, so you don't have any access to a lounge, or you're in a situation where they do offer priority pass lounges, and you go there and the priority pass lounges are full and they won't let you in, so you at least have another option. So it's nice to just have in your bag, so you can use them at any time. So you're going to get 2 of those every year, so that's pretty good. And then you get the $100 towards your global entry fee credit, and that's once every 4 years. And I can't talk about this enough. Global entry is excellent. You need to get that. That will really help you out when you're coming back to the U.S. From other countries. And I just did a video on the whole global entry thing, and just how that process works. Or I didn't really talk about how the process works, but I just talked about you don't have to be a U.S. citizen in order to qualify for global entry. You can come from other countries. You can be citizens of other countries and still get global entry, as well as if you are a legal resident. So if you have like a green card in the U.S., you can still qualify for global entry. So I just did a video, I think last week, about that, so you guys can check that out. 25% back on United in-flight Wi-Fi, food, and drinks. So that's pretty good. I never really use any of these things when I'm on a plane. I never purchase food. I'll bring food. if that's a situation where I'm going to eat on the plane. And drinks, if I get lounge access, I'll get drinks there if I really need to get a drink. And for the most part, they're talking, I believe they're talking alcohol, because they give you water and Coke and stuff like that. Wi-Fi, never had a need to get Wi-Fi while I'm on a plane. Now, the earn possibility here. Let's look at some of this stuff here. So you get two points for every dollar spent at restaurants and hotel accommodations. So that's okay, but most cards will get you at least that. So if you're using the Chase Sapphire Preferred, you're going to get that. If you're using Chase Sapphire Reserve, you're going to get more than that, 3 points for every dollar. So it doesn't really make sense to use this card for that. Now, if you're trying to hit certain milestones for your elite status with the airline, then you might want to consider using this card more and helping that out when it comes to moving you up in elite status. So if you spend a certain amount of money, then you can move up into the elite to a certain elite status with the airline. So you have to fly, but you can also use your credit card and get you a boost there too. Okay, so you get 2 points for every dollar spent on United purchases. So you see 2 points for every dollar spent. That's really nothing. I can use a lot of other cards and get 2 points or more. So that doesn't really benefit you very much. And then you get 1 point for every dollar spent for all other purchases. So you see the earn possibility on this card is not very good. And this is across the board for pretty much all the airline cards that I've seen. So they generally won't give you that much, but they will give you the free check bag. They will give you the priority boarding. Those are two big things. So for me, that's reason enough to keep the card. That will suffice the $95 annual fee. As long as I'm flying, and as long as I'm flying on their airline, then I'm fine with keeping the card. Now they also have, let's see, miles don't expire as long as the account's open, so that's good. You don't have to worry about your points expiring. And there's certain cards like the Spirit credit card, which I don't know why you would ever get that card, but it expires every 6 months if you don't make a transaction. So it's really crazy. Some cards are really strict with that, so you have to pay attention. If you're going to get an airline card for points, you want to make sure you get a card that doesn't expire. The points don't expire. All right, no blackout dates, and so that's good. Now I will say, and I talked about this before, but United they say no blackout dates, and it is true there are no blackout dates. However, when you look at the points, like if you're using points in order to book flights, the points are just ridiculous. So you wouldn't use them. So what I should say, or how I should say this is, let's say I look to book a flight, and the normal points to fly is like 20,000 points. Well, if it's like no blackout dates, so they're going to allow you. You can still book it, but it's instead of 20,000, it's going to be 50,000. So they just double it, or they even triple it to make it so it doesn't even make sense. And there are a lot of situations where on United, you look at their website, and you punch in some numbers to find out, okay, I want to fly this date and all that, and you pull it up, and you'll have general or economy is at 50,000 points, and to fly business class is 35,000 points. So it doesn't make any sense. And so that's what I'm saying. So they say no blackout dates, but all they're saying pretty much is if they don't have that many seats available in economy, they're going to push that number way up higher than even business class. And I can actually show you guys. I'll show you guys that right after this, because I think it's just crazy, but that's the way the system works. Let's see. So we pretty much talked about everything. The no foreign transaction fees we didn't talk about, so that's good. So you can use the card if you're traveling. Like I said, in most situations, I'm not going to use this card very much because I can get better value with other cards. So the main thing is my bags and my priority boarding. Those are the two major things that I would use it for. Okay, so, and then you also have, if you do have elite status with them, then you also get these upgrades here. But you have to be a premier member of Mileage Plus. So, All right, let's let me. I think I can just open up United's website. I just want to show you this real quick because this happens a lot. Hopefully, I can find it. Oh, United. Oh my God, not spelling right today. All right, so let's just pull up their website. And it's funny, you pull it up and you're on Google, so Google's going to show you Google Flights first, which is good. If you guys ever want to use find out like different flights costs and everything, I would jump to Google Flights first and then go to the airline. Okay, so let's just say I want to go from LAX to my favorite destination. And let's go to Barranquilla. And I looked this flight up recently because they have Carnival coming up in March, and I might make that trip. I haven't decided yet. It's going to be a passport issue because my passport's almost expired. I have, today, I have 7 months left, so I have to take care of it sooner than later. So I'm going to try to get it expedited and see if I can get it in time. Let's see, come back on that looks good. All right, so I have it on economy. I want to book with miles and then find my flight. So, and I'll just show you on here. And hopefully when I pulled it up, was it yesterday or day before, it was showing me this. So I'll show, and this happens like, this is the first time that I've seen this. So it's just kind of the way that the system is. All right, so, and it shows right off here. So you see these 50,000 for economy. And usually economy is around here. So it's usually around 20,000. Even if I click on, let's click on 20,000 and go here. Just so you can see some that are 20 and then it'll jump up to 50,000. So you see these are 20,000 here. Now look at here, you jump down here and for economy, and this is one way, for economy seat, it's 50,000. Right next to it, the business saver seat is 35,000. So it doesn't even make sense. Why would you fly economy when you can fly business class for less? Okay, so this is what they're talking about when they say no blackout dates. Okay, there are no blackout dates, but when the seats get short, or when it gets to the point where they don't have that many seats available and they're in economy, they're going to bump that up to 50,000. And so that's what they're doing here. So I would fly, and in this situation, I'm probably going to try to fly business class anyway because that it just, for me, it makes sense. Although I'm flying on Copa Airlines, I'd have to look at the actual seat, and they're not going to show it to me on here because it's a different airline. But if I really want to look at it, let's go a step further here. So let's see, does it give me the flight? Yeah, it gives me the flight right here. So Copa Airlines 330, and it's a 737. All right. So now all I need to do is go to Seat Guru, and Seat Guru will tell me exactly what I'm getting into. So if I'm going to fly business class, I want to be comfortable, and I'm using extra points, so I want to make sure it's worth it. So Seat Guru is a good place to go just to find find out what the plane looks like and what the seats will look like. All right, so Copa, we want to fly out, what did we say on the, I think I moved it though to Sunday, so we'll just say Sunday. And what did I say that flight was, 303? Yeah, flight 303. Okay, so now it will go, actually I put the wrong date here. It will go through and it will find this flight, and then it will show you the actual plane that you'll be flying on. So here it is. So this shows me 737, so I can view the map, I can take a look at the plane, see what first class or business class looks like. So this is your business class. So it's not they're not lie flat seats or anything like that. It's just a regular business class. Now, one of the things that I like about using Seat Guru is, for one, people take pictures And so you can click on here and people will just take pictures and upload them, which I've never done. Maybe I should do that. It'd be just help out the Help Seek Guru out. But so they'll show you all this different stuff where people are taking pictures of them on the plane. So business class, this is what it looks like, and the food looks like that, and the plane looks like that, and all that good stuff. So they have all this, these people taking pictures. So I think that's pretty comical. But then they also show you the pitch here, so you see the distance you have, the width of the seat, and then even economy. They'll give you the information about economy. And then to go a step further, they have cautions. So just be aware if you're sitting in this seat, these are the different things that you might want to be aware of. Then they have these red seats here where they tell you, okay, on this seat it's missing a window, so if you're sitting here you're not going to be able to see out the window. Different things like that. And then always in the back, or even in the front. Do they have it in the front? No, they don't. Okay, so in the back here you're going to be sitting next to a restroom. And I don't know if you've ever sat next to a restroom on a plane, but if you have, if you want to get any rest at all, it's the worst place to sit, because people are going to be opening and closing the bathroom doors the whole flight, as well as the seats don't recline in the back. So if you're in the very, very back, you can't recline back because the wall's there. So just a little tip: if you guys are if you are going to fly, look at the airline, or look at the airplane first to find out exactly what you're getting yourself into. And if you're flying first class or business class, you definitely want to look, because you're using more points. And so you want to make sure that you're using your points wisely. So that's how I look at that. All right, so I think we finished off talking about the card, and yeah, I think we're done with that. All right, so we'll go ahead and talk a little bit about travel safety, how I travel, as far as being safe when I travel. And this is coming from, I was watching a video. And I'll actually put his thing on here. And this guy, he's in Colombia right now. He's in Medellin, or I think he's in Medellin right now. At least he was a couple of days ago. And he had an issue with his with losing some stuff. So having some stuff stolen from him. Now, I don't like to talk about other people's situations. I don't know exactly what happened. He told a story, but in his story, and I'm not going to play it, I just wanted to pull up the video. So in his story, he's basically just talking about the fact, and you can check it out. It's Waylon Way is the name of his channel, and I'll post a link here so you guys can go there. Don't do it right now though. Do it after this after the stream. So anyway, he just talked about his experience. So he's out there, and he admits that he was just not doing things that he shouldn't have done. Like, he was kind of asking people to take advantage of him. So the one of the things that I always, even when I'm in the U.S. now, I never carry a wallet on me. I will always have a money clip that has a little like card thing, so I can put my credit cards in there. And let me see, I'll pull it up just because I don't have it with me right now. It's in the back. I don't want to leave. So yeah, so it's like, actually this is exactly the one right here. So this is what I carry. So I'll carry this, and it has the RFID thing on it, so people can't get like your information, just like skim it off of you, like from your pocket. They can just kind of run a skimmer through it and get that information. So they're not able to do that. And you can try it. Like, I have where I work, I need a card to swipe to get in, and it's just kind of a touch thing. If I put my card in there and try to touch, it doesn't work. So obviously it's doing something to keep people from getting your information. So this is the card. This is what I use. This is what I carry all the time. Now, I never carry anything in my back pocket. Everything's always in my front pockets. So in my left pocket, I have my my card or my money clip, and then in usually either my right or my left pocket I'll have my phone. But they're always in the front pockets. I never have anything in my back pocket. And he kind of talks about his situation where he was in he pretty much got himself in a situation where he was at a club and he had his wallet in his back pocket, and it's obvious. Like if you have a wallet, that's the thing. Like that I don't get when people wear their wallet in their back pocket. Why? Like why is it in your back pocket? I don't know. I've never understood it. For me, it's never a good place to have it in your back pocket, but for whatever reason, that's kind of the way we are. I mean, it's not even comfortable. You sit down and you're kind of, especially if you have a wallet that's relatively thick, then you're kind of sitting on your wallet weird, and it's just, I don't know. I never understood it. But anyhow, so he had it in his back pocket. He's in a club. Someone grabs it, takes it out of his back pocket. He feels it, but when he turns around, he doesn't know who took it. Whereas if you have it in your front pocket, even if someone grabs it out of your front pocket, you're looking at them, or you should be looking at them, so you'll be able to see. So that was a situation where he's in the club, and the same night that he's in the club and he gets his wallet stolen, he also gets his phone stolen because he was, I guess they were in a taxi. He was with some other guys, some locals. Well, I think one of them was a local, and he goes to like these, what do you call them? Like the little workspaces. So, and those are actually good in Medellin and in Thailand. I know they have these workspaces that are nice because you have a lot of people who travel. All they do is they travel, they do blogs and videos and all that stuff, but they go to all these different countries. So they need a place to work. And so they go to these workspace places where you pay like $5 or $10 for the day. You get free Wi-Fi, coffee, all that, and you can just sit down and do your work. So he met some guys there. I think one of them was a local, and then they were going from one club, I think, to another club. They're sitting in the back of a cab, or he's sitting in the back of the cab with a couple of girls, and his partner's sitting up front. I say his partner, but it's not his partner. It's like the local guy that he met is sitting up front. So they needed to find out where they were going directions. So he had it on his phone. So he handed his phone over to the guy that's sitting in the front. And they were just kind of having a good time. So they get to the club. And once they get to the club, then he hits up the guy that he handed the phone to. And the guy's like, I don't have your phone. And so phone's gone. So just different things like that. You just want to make sure that for one, wallet, don't carry one if you don't have to. If you're a lady, I would do the same thing. I wouldn't carry your purse. I really wouldn't. If you can get away without carrying a purse, don't carry a purse. Carry a wallet, or just carry your ID. And we'll talk a little bit more about ID and stuff too. But carry your ID and your essentials. I know you might want to carry lipstick and stuff like that. But if you could find a way to not carry your purse, that would be the best solution or situation. But if you do have to, I would recommend carrying your ID, the stuff that you if you lost it, it would be a disaster. I would carry that on you. So like have it in one of your pockets. And then if you want to have your purse with all your other little things that you want, camera, cheap camera probably, but a camera, lipstick, all that other makeup and all that stuff carried in a purse, but have all your essentials in some, carry those on your person. Okay. So that whole situation is, it could have been avoided for him. It could have been avoided. And he admits it in the end that, yeah, I could have avoided it by carrying my wallet in my front pocket and not being so easy, like friendly with my phone, like giving it to people who have hold and all that kind of stuff. If I would have paid attention more, I would have been fine. Another thing he talked about too is drinking. Drinking is, I never get drunk when I'm out traveling. Never. I mean, there's no reason for me ever. I don't even get drunk out here. So just don't make yourself a target in that sense too, where you go out and you just drink too much and you're not even coherent, well, people, yes, they're going to take advantage of you. And that's not just in other countries. That's in the U.S. Same thing. People will take advantage of you. Always watch your drink. So if you're drinking something, don't leave the table and then come back and then keep drinking. No, take it with you. Wherever you go, take it with you. Because people can put something in your drink and then kidnap you, really, take you away and take all your stuff, your money, use your debit card, credit card, what have you, and then you wake up and your everything is gone. So always watch your drink, always. And I never, like I said, I never get drunk when I'm out. I never do. Like, I'll drink a couple, like if it's a local, like if I want to taste a local beer, I'll do that. But I'd never get drunk. I'm always watching myself. So that's something that I would highly recommend not doing, getting drunk. And when you're with, when you're with your friends and stuff like that, make sure you have people that are watching you as well. So it was funny when I was in Colombia on my last trip when I was in Medellin, the guide that was taking us everywhere, he was very safety conscious, and he was telling us, hey, look, it's just like any other place. It happens. People will pickpocket you and stuff like that. But he was really good to like watch, like, hey, you guys need to watch your back. Like, so if you have a backpack on and you have it, around, you're wearing it the correct way, I guess you could say, have somebody behind you. One of your buddies, have them behind you. Or if you feel uncomfortable with your backpack that way, flip it around the other way so you're wearing it so it's in front of you like this. So if anyone's taking anything, you can see them taking it. So just little things like that. People they're going to pay attention. If they're trying to victimize you, they're going to pay attention and try to figure out what's going on and what you're doing. So just make sure that those things are covered. Now, when it comes to your ID, I always bring my California driver's license. I will bring that. So bring your driver's license, your ID, something with your picture on it. And I also have my passport, but I never carry my passport when I'm going out on the town, or when I'm going out of the hotel period. When I get to the hotel, they will usually make a photocopy of your ID. I mean, your ID, of your passport. And I usually, now I have a copy already. So in the past, when I didn't have a copy, when I get to the hotel, they're making that photocopy. Can you make 2 copies so I can have one for myself? And they'll always do that. So you'll have that copy. And that copy is what I take everywhere. So once I get to the hotel, I either put my passport in a safe or somewhere that's a safe place. And I never take it out until I'm ready to leave. And because you don't want to lose your passport. You lose your passport, then that just ruins your whole vacation, because now you have to go about going to the embassy and try to get your passport, all this. It's a disaster. So you don't want to put yourself in that situation. So those are the main tips that I have. And when I'm going out, I will always bring my California driver's license, just because it has my picture on it. And then I'll have a copy of my passport. I'll bring 1 credit card generally, and then my debit card. And that's all that I'll bring. I don't bring anything else when I'm just going out. Now, I'll have other credit cards on me, or not on me, but with me, but I'll have them at the hotel. So I'll usually have at least 1 or 2 backup credit cards, just in case there's a situation where I lose my debit card, my credit card. Well, then I still have a couple of other credit cards that I can use. And as far as cash, I generally don't bring that much cash on me, but I will have a little bit, just so if there's a situation where it's cash only, then I'll use cash in that situation. But for the most part, if I can use my credit card, that's what I want to use. That's a primary card that I want to use. The reason that I bring my debit card is just in case it is cash only and I do need to go get cash, and I can go to an ATM and get cash if I don't have enough with me already. So that's kind of how I do my setup there. All right, so let's look. If you guys have questions, please feel free to post them so we can talk about the questions you have. And let me switch the screen here so we have a better screen to look at. And the main thing when it comes to safety is just being aware. And I think there are a lot of like this stuff happens everywhere, and so it's not. I'll be honest with you. When I first started traveling, I was really afraid of being a victim, being taken advantage of. But it's just like it anywhere else. Just like in the U.S., you can be a victim if you're not paying attention. Those are the people that people are the people that are trying to target you. They're looking for people who aren't paying attention, who are just kind of free with their stuff and not really caring about stuff. Those are the people they're really looking for. So if you're paying attention, you're kind of watching yourself, looking around, checking people out. Like if I'm walking and there's someone walking and I think there's like they're shady or something and they're walking kind of around me or too close to me, I'm gonna turn around just so they know, hey, I know you're right behind me. So if you're thinking about doing something, I realize you're right there. So, and a lot of that will just kind of, people will, if they're trying to victimize you, they're going to look at it and be like, you know what, let me move on to the next guy because we might have some problems with this guy. Because think about it, a pickpocketer, they want to be able to get what you have without you knowing it. So and that's in most situations, that's the way it goes down. There are some situations where people get robbed, where they pull a gun on you or a knife or what have you. So that does happen, but just be aware that that's what their whole game is. Their whole game is like a pickpocketer. They want to get away with it without you knowing. So if you're paying attention, or if they're walking behind you close and you turn around, or even if they're in the process of pickpocketing you, but they haven't gotten whatever they're trying to get, and you turn around, usually they're going to take off. And that's in most situations. So if you're aware, usually you're not gonna run into those issues. Now, if someone's just out to rob you and they have a weapon, take it. Whatever you need. By all means. My phone is insured, my camera equipment's insured, my credit cards, I can get new ones. So all that stuff, just hand it over to them. That's the way that I look at it when it comes to situations like that. There's no reason to fight for these things that all this stuff you can get back. It's not gonna be the end of the world. And like I said, the main thing that I'm concerned with is my passport. My passport's at my hotel, so I don't have to worry about that. They can take all the other stuff, because even that is not going to ruin my trip. So if I'm out on the town and I lose my phone, tragic, I lose my phone, okay, well, I'll be unconnected for the rest of my trip. Unless realistically, I can buy a phone there if I really need one. I'll lose my credit card, my debit card. I can get new credit cards and debit cards. And in a lot of situations when it comes to credit cards, they can mail those credit cards out to you right away. So you can get one expedited and get it within a couple of days at your destination if you really needed it. But in my situation, I'll have a few different credit cards. So if I lose one, I still have another one at the hotel that I can use for the rest of my trip. So I'm not losing much. And like I said, I carry camera equipment. That's another thing. I carry some pretty expensive camera equipment. However, all my camera equipment is insured. So if it does get lost or stolen, I'm covered on that end. So it's not the end of the world. And it's the end of that trip for me taking pictures, yeah, but it's not the end of the world. I know I can get that stuff back. As well as damn, I just lost my train of thought. Okay, so anyway, camera equipment, everything it can all be, I can get it all back. So it's not a big deal. If someone tries to rob you, just let them have whatever it is. It's not worth your life. Definitely not worth your life. Okay, so let's answer some of the questions here. All right, World Walker's talking. What is he talking is trash? Maybe the card. Okay, maybe the United card. You can buy 2 United Club passes for $25 to $30 on eBay. Okay, don't upgrade to the new Hyatt card. All right, so we'll answer a couple of those questions. So yes, it is true. You can get on eBay, and people will sell, because a lot of people will get these 2 lounge passes, and so they'll sell the lounge passes on eBay. So they do that. Now, I look at it this way: it's an extra bonus. And when I reviewed the card, my main thing was the two benefits is check bags and the priority boarding. Those are my two main things. Those are the two reasons why I would get the card and keep the card, I should say, because every year you're going to be paying $95 on that card, so you want to be able to get that value. So getting the value for me is having those two things. Now, the lounge access, that's an extra bonus if you want to use it. But it is true, if you want to buy them, you can get on eBay and people sell them. And I'm not gonna lie, I got two for the Hyatt card, the first Hyatt card, not the World of Hyatt card. And they were doing the same thing. They give you these two passes, and so I had the two passes, and I'm not gonna use them. I have priority pass, and so at the time I sold them. I think I either sold them to a friend or I sold them. I think I sold them to a friend. So. Yeah, you can get them. They're not hard to get, that's for sure. And it says, don't upgrade to the new Hyatt card. Now, Walker, I like the new Hyatt card. I think the World of Hyatt card's better than the old card. I actually had the old card, and I did upgrade. It just it gives you more benefits. And the point structure is better. I just like the card. I think it's a better card than the old one. But that's just my opinion. Let's see, David Rosales, what airline do you recommend for international flights? So the beauty of the alliance program, so the airline, they have basically partnerships. So it just depends on, like when I fly internationally, I don't really look at the airline, which some people do. And if you wanna fly first class, there's certainly a difference in certain airlines. So you can fly like a Singapore Air or Emirates or some of these different airlines that are really, really luxury. But I look at the partnerships. So if United partners with A, B, and C, then, and when I say A, B, and C, basically United has different partners, so they have international partners. So if I'm booking, just like you guys saw earlier when I was putting in the information to fly to Barranquilla, Colombia, I was on United's website, and when I put in that information, what came back was, it was showing me a flight on Copa Airlines. Now, Copa Airlines is a partner of United, so if I'm going to book that flight, I'm going to be flying on Copa. I'm not going to be flying on United. So you just have to understand that's how it kind of works. So when I look for international flights, yes, there are certain airlines that are better than others or nicer than others if you're flying business class, first class. But for the most part, I mean, I don't really focus on the airline that I'm flying, like the international airline. I just focus on, okay, if I make a commitment to United, these are the carriers that are partners with them. So generally what I'm saying is I don't go out and book, I don't go specifically to Singapore Air. I'm just using Singapore Air for whatever reason. Singapore Airlines, I don't go to their website and book my flight. Usually I'm booking it on United or American Airlines or something like that. And then they will tell me, okay, these are the airlines that are available. And when I booked this when I showed you this last one, Copa Airlines is not the only airline that flies to Barranquilla, but if you're specific about a certain airline, you can kind of move down the list, and they'll have different airlines, or they'll have United will fly direct to Barranquilla. So, all right, let's see. Spirit Airlines, okay, yeah, Spirit Airlines, they have some challenges, and yeah, I don't really know what I can say about them, but their credit card is, don't ever consider getting that credit card. I don't know why it's even out. It doesn't really offer much, and some people do like Spirit Airlines though. And I have a buddy, and he's very cheap, and he's gonna see this video. He's gonna be like, "What?" He's been cheap in the past. Now he's a little more open to, like, now he's kind of going the opposite, where he wants to big baller status for everything. But when it came to flying, when he first started traveling, he was flying on Spirit, and it was a nightmare for him. Like, I've never flown on Spirit Airlines, and I take all the information that people are telling me, and I'll just say, hey, yeah, I get it. But what he was finding is that he's flying on Spirit, so he gets a cheap ticket when he books it, but then he's got to pay for a carry-on. So they let you bring a personal item, but if it's a carry-on, you have to pay for the carry-on. And so he has to pay extra money for the carry-on now. So, and then he has to do, so it's one of those deals where it might seem like it's cheaper, but when you have to pay for all this extra added stuff, and they're charging you for, I think he told me they charge you for water, like beverages on the plane. So when you're paying all this extra money, it's not worth it. And then when you get their credit card and it expires every 6 months, so if you don't use the card, your points expire. It's all around, it's not a good deal. All right, 3 months. So he's saying it's 3 months until it expires. And maybe it is 3 months now. I don't know. At one point it was 6 months, and I was like, this is just crazy. All right, let's see. Go to Trinidad for Carnival. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to Carnival yet. Like I said, it's the whole passport thing. So I'm gonna try. Actually, I already filled out all the passport information, like all of the application and everything, but I didn't send it off last week, and I'm actually glad I didn't, because I didn't really even think about Carnival. But now that Carnival is happening, I'm gonna fill it out again, expedite it. You pay an extra $60, and then I'll be able, hopefully be able to get it within 2 to 3 weeks. So I'll have some time. One good thing about points, if you guys are into points, you can book last minute. Like, you don't, like, I still have plenty of time to book. Even if I get it the 3rd week of February, I still have enough time to book that flight and hotel. And most likely, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet if I fly, because I like staying at Hyatt properties. There are no Hyatt properties in Barranquilla, but there is one in Cartagena. Cartagena is about an hour away from Barranquilla. So the plan might be to stay, because I can stay for free at Hyatt. I have enough points. So I can stay for free at Hyatt I'd probably just go for 4 to 5 days. Stay for free at Hyatt, and then take a bus out to Barranquilla for a couple of days, or just do day trips if I really want to do that. So I haven't figured that out yet, but we'll have to see if I do get it back in time. I can still do that last minute. I can still book my flight as long as it's available. I just looked on it right now, though. We just looked at it right now, and it's starting. They don't have that many available seats. Let's just say that, because you're starting to see more and more 50,000 points. And you guys know what I'm talking about if you were watching a little earlier. But yeah, we'll have to see. But Trinidad, I've heard that Barranquilla is, outside of Brazil, Barranquilla is the largest parade, like Carnival parade. So I'd like to experience that. Plus, it's in Colombia, so I like going to Colombia. So we'll see. Let's see. It does not make sense. People will fly business instead. Yeah. So Arlindo. So Arlindo's basically saying it doesn't make sense. And what he's talking about is, I showed you guys earlier how you have economy, and they were talking about United Airlines. So I was looking on their website, and you'll have economy. When they run short on the economy, it's like 50,000 bonus points, or 50,000 points is what you need to fly economy, and then right next to it, 35,000 points is what you need to fly business class. So it doesn't make sense, but they base it on how many seats are available, and they don't have a blackout date. So if they have more seats available in business class, and you can still get it for 35,000 points. But if they don't have as many seats in economy, then that's when they hike those prices up. So yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's almost a no-brainer. Like, how? Why? There's no way I would pay 50,000 bonus points. I'm gonna go with business class. Now, when business class fills up, then that 35,000 points will jump up to 90,000 points or something crazy like that. So, all right, and let's see. Hi, travel. What's going on, Mark? And what's going on, Kai? And let's see. Are you surprised the City Prestige has not yet relaunched with the new sign-up bonus. I am very surprised about that. So Daniel's talking about the Citi Prestige. They haven't announced their bonus points, like their structure for their bonus points. I don't know what's going on with that. Yeah, that's a weird thing. I would hope that they would do something soon. I don't even know. I haven't gone too far enough to see. Are you able to even get the new card right now, or are they still? Because I thought that they said they were launching July or January 4th, but I haven't looked. Like, I don't know what the bonus. They haven't said anything about the bonus. I would think it's just going to be 50,000. If anything, I can't see them. It's a top tier card, so I would think it's going to be 50,000. If it's not 50,000, that's really going to be bad for that card. So I don't know what they're going to do about that, but they need to do something quick, because you announce a card and then you don't really do anything with it. And I think they announced that. They announced it back right after the Amex Gold was really getting a lot of attention. So I think they wanted to kind of jump in there and say, hey, we have a card too. But now they're not really doing anything with the bonus. So we will have to see. Let's see. The originator, any experience or recommendations regarding Aeromexico? I've never flown on Aeromexico. Yeah, I don't have any information to give you about Aeromexico. Let's see. Viva Air Colombia, or Viva Air Colombia. I've never even heard of that airline. All the times I've gone to Colombia, I've flown on either JetBlue, which JetBlue they have flights that go to Colombia all the time. I've flown on Copa, I've flown on Avianca, and I've flown on United once. So those are all the airlines that I've flown to Colombia. But Viva Air Colombia, no, I don't know anything about that airline as well. I mean, pretty much, when it comes down to it, if you get on Seat Guru, you can get a lot of information. So if you have any questions about Aeromexico or Air Colombia, you can get online and go to Seat Guru. They'll have reviews on that airline. And if you know where if you know you're going to be flying on a certain date and all that, put in all that information. It'll show you exactly the plane that you're going to be flying on. So that you can get a lot of information just from that. So that's my recommendation. What I found, most an airplane's an airplane, right? For the most part, as long as it's relatively new, an airplane's an airplane. Where you're going to drop off is the customer service, how that is, how the food is. But everything else is it's pretty standard. Like, they don't make that many changes when it comes to the actual plane. All right, let's see. What's the best credit card to transfer points to Alaska Airlines? Should I apply for SPG now or wait until the new card comes out? So that's 10 asking that. So what's the best credit card to transfer points to Alaska Airlines? Well, the Alaska Airlines card is a really good card. That's a card that I would definitely recommend. If you're doing the transfers, and I know I think they still partner with Alaska. Well, or I shouldn't say that. They used to partner with Virgin America. I think you might still be able to transfer your points from Citi Thank You points. Don't quote me on this, but I think you could still transfer. That's how I got points in Alaska Airlines. But I would recommend getting their card. Their card is pretty good, and it gives you the companion pass thing, so you can use it, I think, once a year. So that's pretty good as well. So that's what I would recommend if you want to get a card. And if you want to make a commitment to Alaska Airlines, get their card. If you're going to fly on Alaska Airlines, get their card. And one good thing about Alaska Airlines is their points. You can use their points they have partners that are all over. So it's kind of like United, American Airlines, Delta. They have transfer partners, or not transfer partners. They have airline partners that are all over. So I can book, like when I came back from Thailand, I used Alaska Airline points, and I was able to fly on Hainan Air. So I was able to fly from Thailand to the U.S. using Alaska Airline points. So don't just think Alaska Airlines is just for the U.S., because they do have partners. Now, JetBlue is a little different, where you can't to my knowledge, you can't transfer. You can't use points. Like I can't go on to JetBlue and book a flight from Thailand to the U.S. and then they show me their partners, because usually I don't think it works that way. I'm almost positive it doesn't. But with Alaska Airlines, yes, you can get on the site as long as you're using points. If you tell them that you're using points, they will show you. They'll break down and they'll show you, okay, you can fly on Singapore Air or you can fly on Hainan Air for your trip back. So Alaska Airlines is a really powerful airline in that sense, because not a lot of airlines will allow you to do that. When they're at that, Alaska Airlines, I look at more, it's closer aligned with like a JetBlue or a Southwest when it comes down to it. But you can still get some real good benefit out of that airline. All right, let's see, Mark. If a husband has a small business platinum card, can a family go into an airport lounge if the husband is not with them? So Mark, I don't know. I would recommend, if that's a situation, getting I mean, you have a business card, so you can easily get another card. So getting another card with your wife's name on it and all that, and then there should be no problem. But if you're saying that she's using your card, I guess is what you're asking. My recommendation is just getting another card for her, because if it's a business card, you can get business cards for free. Like you can get additional cards. So that's the route that I would go with that. Let's see. City is checking, follow chase. City is chicken of follow chase. Or city is chicken out, follow. Okay. So I guess you're saying that city is chickening out. Chicken. All right. All right, Kai. Yeah. So, and he's talking just about the whole bonus. They haven't really announced anything. They're kind of chickening out from Chase. Like Chase is still the dominant one. I mean, I think we can all admit that Chase they still have some of the best value when it comes to their cards. But I think American Express is really close on their close on their tail. And if Citi can pull this off and have a really good, I mean, the card is good. The Citi card is good. Transfer partners aren't as great. That's the only thing that really keeps me from getting that card. But they have that fourth night free, which is great. If they can have a nice bonus, if they made that bonus 100,000 just for a limited time, you're going to get a lot of people that will jump on that card. But we'll just have to see what happens. Okay, bro, thanks. Unrelated, but name me 3 places must go before my bachelor party in Medellin. Unrelated, but name me 3 places must go for my bachelor party. So are you having a bachelor party in Medellin? Wow. Well, I mean, it's, you can just go to Parque Yetis, and they have clubs all there. Like if you want to do the whole club scene. I'm not big on going to like I mean, they have like strip clubs there and stuff like that too, so you can do that. But just going to Parque Yetis, you can have a good time there, because, I mean, you literally go to the park. If it's at nighttime, go to the park, and the park is a very small little park, and it's more concrete than anything. There's not, I don't even remember seeing grass. It's more of just like a concrete park with planters and all that stuff. So you just go hang out there. You're going to have people that are going to come up to you trying to get you into the different bars and stuff there. And so if you're having a bachelor party, go there and just hang out. You can go to all the different clubs and have a real good time. And it's like beautiful women everywhere. So it's a good time. You can also do like, I mean, there are just so many different things, but yeah, it's one big party, and it's pretty much every night. The majority of the partying is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's the majority of the time that they party, but it is a good time. So El Poblado area, Parque Yetis, go there, and you can do all the partying that you want. So that's my advice there. So I don't really have like 3 specific places, but that's what I would do. let's see. Let's say my son and wife are going on vacation, but my husband and brother are staying home. Is the wife allowed in the airport? Okay. Um, Mark, you asking me all these crazy questions. I mean, if let's see, with a platinum small business card, let's go. Is Bank of America? Okay. Mark, when it comes down to it, if you get a card with her name on it, I don't think that there'll be an issue with her getting access to Lounge. If she if the card allows you access, it will allow her access as well, as long as her name is on the card. I don't think you can use a card with your name on it, give it to her, and then have her use it. I don't think that would work. So I think that, I hope that's answering your question, but that's the way the way that I feel about that, or the way that I think about that. Okay, so Alaska Airlines is Bank of America. Okay, all right. So we've gotten down to the end of the questions. If you guys have other questions, please post them. Go ahead and post them down in the chat. We can talk. What are your thoughts on the Centurion Lounge new restrictions? We talked about that last week, and God, what was it? I can't remember the restrictions. Yeah, we just brought this up last week. We were talking about it. I can't think of it right now. If you remember, just send me a little note reminding me, because we just talked about it. As far as Centurion Lounges, I have not stayed in, or haven't gone to a Centurion Lounge yet. I don't have a Amex Platinum. It's a card that I'm thinking about getting, but right now, I wanted to fill out my whole Chase ecosystem. It's already full, but there are a couple of cards that I wanted to get. I wanted to get the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, which I got that one a couple months ago. And then I just got the United Explorer card. I haven't actually physically got it, but I got approved for it a couple of days ago. And so now I'm open to get some different cards, and the Amex Platinum might be one of those cards that I get. But I wanted to do it. I mean, when you're dealing with Chase cards, you kind of want to get them you want to get those first. Let's put it that way. So if you want to get into the Chase ecosystem, you want to get certain Chase cards first, because you don't want to put yourself in a situation where that whole 524 rule with Chase comes in effect, because now you're jumping out, you're getting the Amex Platinum here, and you're getting this card here, you're getting that card there, and then when it comes to the Chase cards, you've waited, and now you can't get a Chase card that you might really want. So that was my whole strategy there. So I'll probably be getting one soon, the Amex Platinum, and I'm thinking about waiting until the lounge opens up at LAX. So when the lounge opens up in Los Angeles, then I'll be more apt to get the card. And now I remember one of the things that we talked about last week about Centurion. So it's a 3-hour restriction. Basically, and Daniel's just talking about what I think about the new restrictions. So one of them is the 3 hours. So you can't be in the lounge for longer than 3 hours. And I think it's from your flight time. So let's say I'm flying out at 3 p.m. and I show up at 2 p.m. Well, actually, let me back up. Let's say I'm flying out at 6 p.m. and I show up at 2 p.m. and I go to the lounge. They're not going to let me in until 3 p.m. And then I can spend that 3 hours in the lounge and then catch my flight. I don't really have an issue with that. And like I talked about last week, basically when it comes down to it, the majority of the time that I go to a lounge, I spend maybe an hour to hour and a half. I don't spend that much time in the lounge. And the only place where I can see it being an issue is if I'm doing a long layover. Yes, I'm going to want to go into a lounge and hang out for a longer period of time. Let's say it's a 5-hour layover. Well, I want to be able to check into the lounge and kind of relax. But in this situation, you're not going to be able to do that until 3 hours prior to your flight. But the beauty of the Amex Platinum is you have other options. You have Priority Pass. You have the Delta Sky Club. So you're able to go to a different lounge and hang out if you want to do that. So you can kind of split your time. Go to one lounge, hang out, and then go to the Centurion Lounge, stay there for an hour or two right before your flight. So it's not the end of the world. It's probably a better thing that they're doing this because I would imagine they're doing it because they had too many people in the lounge. And that's one thing that really is bad about some of these lounges is you just have all these people in the lounge and you have nowhere to sit. There's no food. Sometimes you go in there and food is short because there's just so many people in there, and it's crowded. It's just like being at the in the regular terminal if you just have a bunch of people in there. The one thing that is different when you go and stay in these lounges is it's usually quieter and there's not a lot of people. There's places to sit. You can relax. You have Wi-Fi, all that. Well, if you make it just like a regular terminal, you have all these people in there making noise, kids running around and all that. It's just it's a regular terminal, just nicer seats. So that's if you can find a place to sit. So that's what I think about that new restriction. Let's see. Excellent channel. Okay, thank you, originator. Appreciate that. Thanks for stopping by. And you guys remember every Sunday at 7 p.m. I'll be doing a live stream, and where we're just going to pretty much talk. Like I'll usually have a topic. Like today we talked about travel safety. And I'll usually review a card. I'll just pull up any card, kind of a random thing, and then just kind of look at some of the benefits of the card. I think if you are into travel, getting these travel reward credit cards really can help you out a lot when it comes to your finances, and it will allow you to go to a lot of different places because you can save so much money. And I wasn't a believer. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't a believer when I first started, and I've only been doing this for about 3 years now. And the last thing I wanted to do was get a credit card, and that's because I wasn't using credit cards the right way. And the way you use it the right way, and I'm not an expert. I'm not a financial advisor, credit card expert, or anything like that. But the way I use my credit cards now is basically this is what I do. I use my credit card for all of my purchases. So I've replaced my credit card. I've replaced my debit card with my credit card. So everything that I was already using a card. I wasn't using cash. So I was already using my debit card for all my purchases, for pretty much everything. So now I just switched that to my credit card. And then every 2 weeks when I get paid, that money goes to pay off my cards. And I pay my cards off in full every month, so I don't carry a balance. So I'm not in any situation where I'm accruing interest on these cards, because when you start accruing interest on the cards, all those points that you're getting, you're just throwing those points away. So you want to make sure you pay it all off. And if you are in a situation where it's more important for me to pay that all off at the end of the month than to pay that interest. So if I get into a situation where I don't think I can pay it all off, I'm using my debit card, or I'm using cash, and I'm just gonna not even risk not being able to pay it off. Because once, like if I have 50,000 points in my bank, or like in my account, and I started paying off, paying the interest because I'm carrying it over, those points eventually are going to be completely gone, and they're not going to be worth anything. Or I shouldn't say they're not going to be worth anything. I can use the points, but now I've paid interest into those points. So that 50,000 points of $500 worth of money, I've already put that back into paying interest, so it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? So that's just how I do it. And I do this, I've been doing it for the last 2.5 years, 3 years, and it's worked out. I'm able to go pretty much anywhere that I want to go at a moment's notice. Like I can book stuff. The good thing about points, when you're booking airline tickets, you know how airline tickets fluctuate with price and all that. When you're booking using points, usually it's a flat rate. So if it's wherever my destination is, and we looked earlier, my destination is Colombia, so it's going to be 20,000 points generally. Now you see, like United, different airlines, they do different things, but United, what their push is, we have no blackout dates. And so the reason that they say they have no blackout dates is because they can bump up the points and say, oh, well, you need to pay 50,000 points instead of 20,000. But other airlines, they do it different, where they will have they do have blackout dates, so they only have a certain amount of reward seats. So you do have to be flexible, but you can still last minute book stuff for the same price. The prices are same amount of points. The price isn't gonna, or the point value is not gonna jump up with most airlines. And United is a little unique in that. But I do find that United, even if they're offering, if it's like 50,000 points, you can go a day early or a day later, and you can still get the 20,000 points. So they usually have something available, but it might not be exactly the day that you want to leave. So you do have to be flexible with that. All right. Sharon, if you have arrived at your final destination, you cannot enter the Centurion Lounge. Yeah, that is the other restriction there. So, which is, it's already, I mean, like with Priority Pass, you can't. You're not supposed to. If you get to your destination, they're not supposed to allow you into a lounge when you reach, like, let's say I'm going to Thailand, I get to Phuket, I'm at the airport, and I have 7 hours before I can check in to my hotel. Well, I can go and just hang out at the lounge for 4 or 5 hours before I go to my hotel. Well, in general, they're not supposed to, like Priority Pass wasn't allowing you to do that. Now, I have heard of people that have been able to do it. They just kind of just walk in there. They look at your airline ticket when you go to check in to the lounge. So in certain situations, they won't allow you to do that. So Centurion is jumping on that as well. So, I mean, that is, you really have to kind of plan I plan my time around things like this. So if it's the lounge, if I'm thinking about that, if I have a long layover, there might be situations where I might not be able to get in a lounge. I check all that stuff out before I fly and when I'm booking my stuff. So I will look to see if, because I have Priority Pass now, I'll look to see if there's a lounge at that airport if I'm doing a long layover. And usually I'm looking to see if there's more than just one lounge. Because if there's one lounge, anything can happen. You can be at one lounge, or that lounge could be closed for the day. That lounge could not offer Priority Pass on that day. There's so many different things. So I look to see if they have a few lounges at that airport. And you can go so far as looking at the terminals, how the whole thing work out. Are you able to walk from one terminal to another terminal? Because there's certain situations where you get to a terminal and you're locked into that terminal. You can't leave. So you can leave, but you have to go outside of security and then come back through, and who wants to do that? So different things those are things that you want to do your research on, if that means a lot to you. If it means a lot to you, the lounge access and that kind of stuff, then you want to check all that stuff out before, and then you might want to change your flight accordingly. So, all right, you can bring children under 2 years of age for free, and they won't count towards your 2 free guests. Okay, and bringing young children in, which is, oh, that's what I'm talking about. That can really ruin your lounge experience. But it's good for if you have kids. Yeah, you want to bring your kids in. They don't count toward a number of people that you can bring in. Okay, got 14 cards. I treat them like cash. Okay, Kai, yeah, that's good. And I've always, like 14 cards, it's great. I've always looked at only getting the cards that I'm going to keep. And so not like 14 cards, I can't use 14 cards. Like I just can't. Not at one time, like not in a month's time, I'm not using all those cards. So there'd be a lot of cards that you just kind of have on your shelf that you don't have in your wallet, which is fine. And as long as you can manage it, that's great. But there's certain cards, airline cards, those are cards that I probably won't carry on me, or actually I don't. Like I have the Advantage card right now. I don't even carry that card. And I'm getting this new United card. I'll use it for the first 3 months because it's a business card. I have to spend $5,000 on that to hit the minimum spend. So once I spend that, then I'll get the 75,000 bonus points. I'll keep that card stashed away and wait for my trip. I don't even really need it for the trip, to be honest with you, but you need it to book your flight. So I'll book my flight. I might bring it on my trip with me. I don't. I probably would. If I'm going to fly in United, I should probably have their card with me. But hey, yeah, actually, it's probably a good thing to have with me because I can use it if I do need to make any purchases, in-flight entertainment, all that kind of stuff, Wi-Fi, whatever. Even though I don't generally get that, it's still good to have just in case I want to use that. How you doing, Seven? What's going on? So when it comes down to it, those are cards that are kind of on my shelf, and then I have other cards that I use all the time. So I like to keep it as small as possible. I don't want to have too many different cards going on. So I'll keep it. Right now I have 4 cards that I use all the time, then I have 2 cards that are just kind of sitting on my shelf. And I like to kind of keep it like that because 4 cards, I can pretty much use 4 cards in a month where I kind of spread them out as far as getting the best value on each card. So that's where I am when it comes to that. All right, let's see. If you guys have any other questions, please post them so we can talk about them. Let's see. You can get a sign-up bonus for all Chase Ink cards. Excuse me. Wait, let's see. So you're asking if you can get them for all ink. I know the cards that I got bonus points. So the Chase Ink Business Plus card I have, that card they don't offer anymore. But you can get a sign-up bonus for that card. Or you could back in the day. It was like 50,000 bonus points. Now they have the new card. I think it's, I can't even think of the name of the new card. And the Chase Ink Business Unlimited, that's a card that I just got a couple months ago. The sign-up bonus for that was 50,000. So yeah, they still, to my knowledge, they're still giving bonus points for all those cards, or sign-up bonuses for all those cards. Okay, 7, you're in Vegas, huh? Where are you staying? So yeah, it's just worth it. It's worth it to get these cards if you can afford it, and if you have that mindset. Now, like I said, got to pay it off every month. And the best way that I found to do it is every time I get paid, every 2 weeks, I'm paying it off, or at least paying that balance off. So if I have a balance that's out there, I'm paying that off. Let's say if I use the card, let's say I owe 1,000 on the card, but I really have paid, or I've really used the card for, it's like 1,300. So that balance that I need to pay is 1,000. I pay that 1,000 every 2 weeks, and then at the end of the month I'll pay the rest. But I like to just get it all taken care of. El Cortez in downtown Vegas. I remember that casino. So if those of you don't know, I went to college, UNLV. So I went to college in Vegas, and we spent a lot of time in the casinos. Too much time. But yeah, El Cortez, cool. That's nice. So yeah, so you should be gambling right now. It's like 8:30. Should be out having a good time. Reckless, what's going on? Back, I fell asleep on my computer. What did I miss? You fell asleep on your computer? So I'm that boring. I put you to sleep. Wow. All right, Daniel, what do you think of the new Marriott Bonvoy program and their new card coming in February 13th? I haven't looked into that card. Let me know the info about that card. Let's see. I will pull that up right now. So they have a card coming out in February, huh? Let's see. And that's I think that Marriott program that's just a combination of, let's see, the combination of SPG. Is that what they're doing now? Let's see. Let's look at this together. Let me pull this up so you guys can see what I'm looking at here. All right, coming February 13th, Marriott Bonvoy. is a new name for our combined loyalty programs. Okay, is it just combining the programs here? I don't know enough about this yet. Nice website though. Let's see. Go further. Enjoy more. We'll have to see how this works. I have never been, and I don't know why, but I've never really been a big fan of Marriott. Not that they're bad. Like, I don't know. I've stayed at a few Marriotts, but I just kind of really enjoy staying at Hyatt properties. So I generally don't stay at Marriott, so I don't really have opinion on it. And I don't know how is their point, like, is this, they're saying coming February 13th, so it's just going to be the old cards that you're still able to use, or, yeah, I don't know how this is all going to work out. You're just going to be able to transfer your points using your SPG points with Marriott and all that. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. But obviously Marriott has some of the high-end properties, I should say, the Ritz-Carlton and all that. So you can stay in some real nice places. But yeah, I've never really jumped on the Marriott bandwagon. But if you have Chase, you can transfer your points using Chase, so that's good. But I just haven't jumped on that yet. So let me know more information about that. Let's see. And maybe after February, after they launch, then we'll do another live stream and we can talk more about it. Let's see. Okay, so they just rebranded the SPG cards. Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about it once they actually launch it and they have everything going, then we'll talk a little bit about it. Usually there's hiccups. I mean, with every new launch, I remember with the World of Hyatt, still to this day, that World of Hyatt program, when they launched that, people were excited, but then you had issues people had issues. I had issues with it. I mean, the whole night's like jumping from, it used to be 25 stays, which 25 stays is equivalent. One night can be a stay, but if you stay 2 or 3 consecutive nights, that's only one stay. So what a lot of people were doing, like me, I would do it too, where I would stay one night at the one hotel and then go to another Hyatt hotel, stay another night, and then go to another Hyatt. So if I really wanted to rack up my 25 stays, excuse me. Well, a lot of people were doing that, I guess. And so now when they had the new program, they said, well, it's going to be 60 nights. So there are no more stays. You're just going to have to stay 60 nights, which is a lot for most people. Like I don't use 60 nights in a year. Like I don't travel that much. You pretty much have to either travel all the time, or you have to have a business or you have to work for a company or have a business where you travel all the time. So I usually travel 4 times a year for the most part, and I'm not staying. I mean, even if I stayed 10 days 4 times a year, that's still only 40 days. So just doesn't work out for me. Let's see. I'm on a losing streak now, so I decided to take a break. All right, y'all, that's good, Seven. You're saving money. You're watching me, and you're saving money, so that's a good thing, right? I generally don't care about hotels as long as they are clean and good locations. Yeah, I agree with that. Location is the most important thing. My sinuses are kicking up right now. Yeah, location is the most important thing for me. I mean, yes, most hotels should be clean. Like that's kind of the expectation. So if I'm staying at a hotel, and especially if you're staying at a name brand hotel, like you shouldn't have any problems with cleanliness. But the location is huge. I want it to be in a good location. So let's see. It's a pain checking in and out of a hotel. I don't know what you're saying, Seven. Well, my experience checking in and out of hotels, like they even make it like SPG was doing this for a while, and I'm pretty sure they're still doing it, where it was like you can use your app to open your hotel room. So you didn't even have, like, you can check in on the app and then go straight to your hotel room. They'll tell you where your hotel room is. Go straight to your hotel room and use the app to get in. You can also, there are a lot of places that you can still, I think Hyatt does this too, but you can check in, let them know you're checking in, and they'll have your keys waiting for you. So you can just go grab your keys and then go straight to your room. You don't have to go through the whole process of checking in and all that, because they have all that information already. So checking in is pretty, I mean, for the most part, it's good. My experience has been fine. Now, there are other things too to think about too. If you have an elite status, usually you can go to a separate line, so you don't have to wait with everyone else. So that's good. And then checkout, I'm going to be honest, when I check out, I just leave. Like, I never go down to the front desk to check out. They have it, you can do it on the computer in your room if you want to do that. But for the most part, I just leave. I make sure I leave at the time that I'm supposed to leave, whatever it is, if it's 2 o'clock, or if it's, like, you can get late checkouts too if you have elite status. So with Hyatt, there was a time where I had the globalist status, so the highest status. I just let them know, hey, I need to check out at 4 p.m. I check out at 4 p.m. As long as I'm out before that 4 p.m., I have no further contact with the hotel. Let's see. Have you ever stayed at Wyndham Properties? No, I have not. So Daniel's asking if I've ever stayed at Wyndham, and what do you think of their loyalty program? I don't know anything about Wyndham as far as their loyalty. I think Wyndham is the largest, they quote, the largest hotel chain in the world. I know IHG has a lot of hotels, so they rival them, but I think Wyndham they're quoted as having the largest. Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you, I pretty much stick with Hyatt, and I'll do Hyatt and I'll do Airbnb. That's pretty much, those are pretty much the hotels that I stay in, so I don't really branch out to all these different hotels. And just my opinion, you don't want to spread yourself too thin. So if you can make a commitment, if you like a certain hotel chain, just stay with that hotel, because you're accruing all your points at that hotel, you're accruing all your stays or your nights at that hotel. So if you can get an elite status with that hotel, that would be great. But if I'm jumping around all these different hotels, I'm staying at the Wyndham, I'm staying at the Marriott's, I'm staying at the Hilton. If I'm staying in all these different hotels, well, I'm just spreading out all my, I'm spreading everything out where I can just have it, because in most major cities, you're going to have one of those hotels. So if I can stick to one hotel chain, that's generally the way I like to go about it. Daniel, are there properties let's see. All their properties, regardless of category, are only 15,000 points a night. So that's Marriott. That's good. That's really good. 15,000, depending on what type of bonuses you can get. And I know Marriott, we talked about Marriott card a couple of weeks ago, where it's pretty good earn possibility with that card. So you would be doing pretty good if you can get that 15,000 bonus points. And I would be interested to see, and like I said, I don't know. I don't stay at Marriott's, but I'd be interested to see how available those are. But it could be something I look at in the future, because with Marriott, you have Chase, you can transfer over to Marriott if you have the Ultimate Rewards program. So, all right. So all in all, if you guys have any other questions, please post in the chat. Any comments, post in the chat. And the main reason that we wanted to talk today is we wanted to talk about travel safety. And I just pretty much talked about kind of my setup, what I carry on me and stuff like that. But you also want to talk with people in the neighborhood, if you can, just about different things when it comes to safety. And what I mean by talk to the people in the neighborhood, they're going to know, like, places that are good for you to go and places that aren't good for you to go. So you can chat up people everywhere. You go to a restaurant, you can chat people up. Taxis, you can chat them up about, hey, where's a good place for me to go to do this, a good place for me to go to do that? Is it safe for me to go here? Is it safe for me to go there? And usually they're going to give you some really good information, up-to-date information, not information that you're going to see like on websites and stuff like that, or even on YouTube, like people put out videos. A lot of those videos are dated. So if you want up-to-date information, hit those people up. And I talk about this all the time. Anytime I get into a taxi, I'm always sitting in the front seat because I want to chat the driver up about just different things. You can get so much information, and it's easier if I'm sitting right next to you to talk to you than if I'm sitting in the back seat leaning over the front seat to try to talk to you. So that's just my routine. I always sit in the front seat. So yeah, it's just you want to be aware of your surroundings, and you also want to talk with people. And usually there's certain areas that should be relatively safe. If you're staying in a major hotel, that area around your hotel, for the most part, it's going to be pretty safe. And the hotel, it's in their benefit to make sure that area is safe. And so they will invest money into it. They will invest in the city, the country. They're all going to make sure that those areas are safe because it's an investment for them. So you're a tourist, you bring in money for that country, bring in money for that city, bring in money for that hotel. So they're going to make sure that area is safe. So generally, if you're staying at a Hyatt or you're staying at a Marriott, what have you, the area right near you is going to probably be pretty safe. So you can be rest assured that that's a safe area. Now, other areas, yes, you're going to need to probably talk with people, talk with the people at the hotel. Usually, you will have, in most situations, if you're staying at an American hotel or international, like if you're staying at a Marriott or any hotel like that, you're going to have people there that speak the language or speak English. Speak the language. Yeah, of course they're going to speak that language, but they're going to probably speak English as well. So you can talk with them, say, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that, and they'll give you information. A lot of them will have different excursions and things like that too. Some of them will have a concierge that has all that information as well. But they will really explain to you, okay, yeah, you know what, you can go here, you can go there, probably shouldn't go there. Their thing is they don't want you to have a bad experience because they want you to come back, or they want you to recommend their hotel to someone else, right? So they want to give you the most up-to-date, safest information as possible. Okay, just do it. I find I'm safer out in the U.S. Okay. Yeah, all right. So that's about it. I just wanted to kind of come on and talk a little bit. And like I said, every week on Sunday at 7 p.m., I will be doing a stream. And what I'll do too, and I've had a few people that have said, "Oh, well, I can't watch on Sunday because I have to go to work the next day and all that stuff, so they can't catch me all the time." And I understand that. I totally understand that. I'm off on Monday, so that's why Sunday kind of works for me. But I'm going to start just jumping on and doing it, so some more impromptu stuff where something might have come up and I want to talk about it, and so I'll just come on and talk about it as opposed to doing it strictly on Sunday. So I'll still do the Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, but then during the week I might just jump on for 30 minutes or jump on for an hour and just talk about something that might be new in the news. And I didn't do this one because I got caught up doing some other stuff, but there was an incident last week with United where the plane, I think they were flying to Japan, and they had to divert into Canada. And so they flew into Canada and they landed. There was a medical emergency, and so they had to get someone off the plane. But from what I was reading, they couldn't, people couldn't get off the plane because there was no customs there. So they couldn't have people reroute or put them on a different plane. I don't know. For whatever reason, they had to leave them on the tarmac, and they were there for 14 to 16 hours just sitting on the tarmac in the freezing cold because it's snowing out there in Canada. And so pretty tragic, right? I mean, if you're in that situation. And the thing that was really crazy to me is they didn't go to Japan, so they had to fly back to the U.S. So I flew back to New York, I believe, and they were talking about like the whole refund. How are they going to refund them or not going to refund them? And it was kind of open. It was like an open question, like it was like up in the air. Or I'm thinking, if you put me through all this, I'm sitting on a tarmac for 14 hours. I don't get to my destination. I have to come back to New York and then probably stay the night in New York and then fly out the next day, hopefully. And they're talking about not refunding them or not compensating them in some way. I mean, that would be really crazy. The only thing, the only silver lining to that I would think, and I don't know how that works, like, I'm sure there are heaters on a plane, but you know the little thing up there, it just blows air, so I'm sure they just probably heat the whole plane. So they have to keep it at a certain temperature, but that temperature might be too hot for you or too cold for you. You have all these people that are, we all have different, we all feel different ways about being cold or hot. So that would have just been a disaster. I would think that they would refund them. I hope that they refunded them their cost of their airfare and gave them a voucher so they could fly later or something. I don't know. It's just, yeah, that was a pretty tragic, pretty tragic story. And I wanted to talk about it, but I like I said, I was gonna just jump on and do a stream. So that's what I'll start doing in the future. So when news comes up like that, or if it's a new car that just launched, or if it's just travel related stuff, even some photography related stuff, I'll just jump on and talk about it, and just open up a stream and just kind of talk about it. And camera stuff too, like I said, photography. So you guys know, like, yes, we talk about travel, we talk about credit cards, we talk about getting to these destinations, but I also have a real love for photography, so I do talk about camera equipment and stuff like that. I gear it toward travel, but I do talk about camera stuff, or camera equipment, because I think it's important, and we all do it. Like when you go to these different places, what's the first thing you do? You pull out your phone, and you pull out your camera so you can take a picture, so you can show your friends and all that, and show your family. So I'm big on photography, so I will talk about different cameras that are great for travel. I've used a variety of different cameras. Right now I'm using Sony cameras, and Sony cameras are some of the best cameras on the market, as well as some of the best cameras for travel because they're mirrorless, they're smaller cameras. So you can fit more cameras in your bag if you want, or you can fit more things in your bag with your camera because it's so small. Or it's smaller. I won't say it's so small because some of the bigger camera, or some of the professional end cameras, they are a little larger. All right, let's see. Got some more questions here. Okay, so outside of the U.S. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense, Evan. So he's just saying, just do it. I find myself safer outside of the U.S. When you're traveling, and I feel the same way. Like I haven't, knock on wood, been in a situation where I felt uncomfortable in another country when it comes to safety. I just haven't. It hasn't happened. So I'm not saying it won't happen, but I'm saying that you just get out there. Get out there and go, like Seven's saying. Get out there and travel. And as long as you're aware of your surroundings, you're paying attention, you're most likely you're going to be fine. You can easily be a victim in the U.S. as well as being a victim in another country. So don't think of, oh, it's scary there, I'm not going to go because I feel that someone might try to pickpocket me or steal my stuff. That can happen anywhere, and it's very rare that it does happen. There are a lot of things in place, especially if you're in a tourist area. There are a lot of things in place to keep that stuff from happening because that hurts their bottom line. That hurts the hotels. That hurts the city, the country, everything in that community. It hurts all the people there that work in the travel industry. It hurts all of them. So they're really on it when it comes to that. And I would say a lot of those places are safer than just your run-of-the-mill city in the U.S. because they want to make sure it's safe for the tourists when they come in. All right, let's see. Anyone have input on foregoing the Hyatt card and using the 524 spot for SPG before it's gone? That's Michael that asked that question. Yeah, I mean, if you forego the 524, then by all means, I mean, get the SPG card. I don't even know what the bonus is on that card. Is it like 25,000? Um, I personally, like I said, I haven't really stayed with SPG, so or Marriott, so I wouldn't be the person to give you good advice on that. Maybe someone else in the chat can give you more advice when it comes to that. But I just like Hyatt right now, so that's where I would stick with the Hyatt. So if you ask me, I would stick with the Hyatt card and forego the SPG. Although SPG has some really good transfer partners. So I don't know how this new program is going to play out with their transfer partners, but SPG was one of the only cards where hotel cards where you could transfer your points directly to different airline programs. So they had a good situation there. I don't know with this new Bonvoy program. I don't know how that all is going to play out and what they've done with that. But that was a really good card because of that. The fact that you had American Express, and then you had SPG, and then you had Chase Ultimate Rewards Program, then you had the Citi Thank You Points. But SPG, although it was just a hotel, they had transfer partners, so they were really a powerful card, and the points were really valued very high. So, all right, let's see. When I'm traveling, I don't stay out late and I don't get drunk. Yeah, those are good things not to do, 7. And that's another thing I didn't talk about, staying out late. So you want to be really aware. You don't want to be out too late. And one thing that's really crazy, some of the places that I've traveled, well, I'll speak for Colombia and Costa Rica because those two countries I found it really interesting. But we did the staying out late, and we were out late probably every night. So I'm telling you not to do it, but we did do it. And I mean, you go to the club, you're going to be out 1:30, 2 in the morning. So we're on our way home usually around that time. And it's crazy because in Costa Rica and in Colombia, people are just out walking around like it's daytime. It's crazy. So we saw that a lot, or you just see people hanging out, and they have a little store, like restaurants, little fast food kind of restaurants out, and you drive by and there's just people hanging out, or like we're walking back to our hotel, we're in Colombia, and people were just out hanging out like nothing. And it's like, I guess it's kind of like here where you go to a club, and after the club, then you go to the local restaurant, fast food. For us in California, it's like In-N-Out. You go to In-N-Out and you hang out there with your friends and all that. This is when we were like in high school. But you just see people out all the time. In Costa Rica, where we stayed in Costa Rica, you see people out. And there were a few times where we were out 3 or 4 in the morning, and you just see people out walking around. And we had a guide that was taking us everywhere when we were in Costa Rica. So we did a lot of trips, and some of those trips we were coming back really, really late at night. And our guide was telling us, yeah, this is kind of the way it is. People are just out. They're just out hanging out. And some people they're like fishermen. So they're up early in the morning, and they're getting all this stuff ready to go out for their fishing trips and stuff like that. So yeah, that's one thing. You don't want to stay out late if you can avoid it. Especially if you're alone. Like if you're with a group of people, you're probably going to be fine. And that's with pretty much anything when it comes to safety. There's safety in numbers. People say that. If there's a group of you, then you're probably going to be okay, even if it's late at night. But if you're by yourself, then make sure you either take an Uber or take a taxi right to your door, and then get out and go. Don't walk the streets. It's just not a smart thing to do. Let's see. I just got the Hyatt card on January 9th. Okay, Nika, that's cool. So I remember you talking about that, getting that card. Yeah, and the Hyatt card, you'll be happy with it. It's a good card. It just you get that free night, so that's great. And if you're staying at Hyatt properties, you're gonna get, as long as you sign up for their membership program with Hyatt, the World of Hyatt program, then you'll get 9 points 9 points for every dollar spent, so that's really good. Okay, Michael S. Check out Sebi. He has all the hotel cards. Yeah, Sebi does have a lot of cards. He does, and he talks about all these cards. He's been he's been around for, I don't know exactly how long he's been around. I know he's from he lives in San Francisco, but he does have a lot of knowledge. So if you do check out his channel, he's got a lot of information on there. He's more technical into the cards and all that stuff. I'm personally, I'll be honest with you, I'm not. I just want to travel, and I use the cards that I need to use in order to get to the destinations where I want to go. But I'm not a credit card guru where I'm on I want to find out all the different credit cards and what makes them tick and all this stuff. I just use what I know, and I'll talk about the cards that I have. I'll talk about the experiences at the hotels where I stay and the airlines that I fly. But I'm not, I don't have a wealth of knowledge when it comes to all the different credit cards. You can ask me about credit cards now, and I'll tell you, yeah, you know what, I don't use that card, so I don't really know. And that's just the way I am. But there are some people like Sebi. I don't know how many cards he has, but he talks about all the cards like he has those cards. So, yeah. Let's see. Amex, SPG, and Chase Marriott are basically the same card. Yes, they are. Or they are now. Let's see. What city? Costa Rica. Nika's asking me what city did I stay in Costa Rica. It was San Jose. So we were in I believe that's a capital. I think it's a capital. So we stayed there, and we were like in the downtown, or we didn't stay in the downtown area, but usually we had to come through that downtown area to come back to our hotel, and there'd just be people out. And you ride down a major street and you just see people walking down the street. It's like 4 a.m. It's like, what are these people doing? But a lot of them, like I said, a lot of them were fishermen and stuff. So they were out. I mean, it's just weird because it's like 4 a.m. and you see a guy out eating in front of like carts. They have like the food carts at 4 a.m. Like, where do you see that? And so they're there, they're getting all their fish, their stuff ready to go fishing, and they're eating breakfast, and that's why they're out there eating at 4 a.m. So it was an eye opener for me because I'm thinking, what are these people? These people are like zombies. They don't even, I mean, you just see them walking around like it's crazy. All right. Michael, I agree. They are basically the same, but I already went down the SPG route with a business card. Either way, I would have to give up getting the Hyatt card for the SPG or Marriott card. Okay. Can you still get the bonus if you already have the business SPG card? I don't know. I think we're talking about the Marriott card. I think you guys are talking about the Marriott card. I'm not sure. Let's see. Yes, if I go to the SPG personal card, but not the Marriott. Okay. Embark for a new carry-on. What is your go-to luggage choice? Okay, so Justin's asking about getting a carry-on, and he's asking me what my luggage choice is. Let me go get my luggage just so I can show you guys. Give me 1 second. right. We just extended this video, or this stream, because I want to talk about this. I actually wanted to talk about it in another stream, but I didn't set it up. So let me just show you guys real quick. Now, I'm not sponsored by any of these companies, but this is just what I use. This is what I'm comfortable with, and I've used a few different carry-ons. I use like a international carry-on. That's pretty much the way that I go when it comes to my luggage. I mean, you have the different sizes and all that stuff. International I like because they are a little smaller, but you don't have to worry about it when you're flying internationally as far as, okay, this luggage is too big. It's like a domestic carry on it only. So in this situation, it's an international one. Very small. It's a Delsey. So that's the name of the luggage. And what I really like about it, and I still to this day use this, is it has a zipper in the front here. And so this is just for putting my laptop, my tablet, all that stuff in there. And you see it just zips. It zips up right there, and then you have your regular compartment here. So I find this, I can put at least, I can usually get five pieces of luggage, or 5 days worth of clothes in this suitcase. So that's what I use. Let's see if I can move that over. Okay, and it's just a clamshell opening, just like a normal piece of luggage. Another thing I like about it too are the wheels on the bottom. You have some pretty nice wheels, so it's really nice and smooth when it rolls. And my recommendation when it comes to luggage, let me just put this aside. When it comes to luggage, you want to get something that is good quality, because the problem with luggage is, or the thing that you don't want to have happen when you get luggage is you don't want that thing to break down on you. So you don't want to be out traveling somewhere, a wheel goes down, and guess what? Now you have to buy more luggage. So that's the last thing that you want to, the last issue that you want to have to deal with is buying more luggage when you're traveling, because it can get really expensive because you're stuck, right? You broke your wheel, you have to buy more luggage, and they know that. So especially if you're at the airport or something like that, it's crazy. So yeah, you want to get some luggage that's really high quality. One thing about this, and one thing I will say about the company, Delsey, is they will, there was a situation where I had my carry-on and I was flying out somewhere and I had to check my bag. I was flying on United. I had to check my bag, and so I went ahead and checked my bag, and one of the zippers, I didn't have it tied in because it does have, I didn't show you guys here, it does have a lock on it. So it has a combination lock on the front here. So it has a little area here where you can lock them in, lock the straps in, or not the straps, but the zippers. And so I didn't have them locked in, so when they were taking my luggage off the conveyor belt or what have you, I don't know, they pulled one of the zippers. So they just pulled the zipper was still attached, but not the little handle part of it. So it's a specific one that you need, right? Because it needs to lock into the combination. And so I sent them an email just saying, hey, and I'd had the bag for a couple of years at that time, and they sent me out free of charge. They sent me out all the different, they sent me every one, like all the different little zipper pulls. So I thought that was really cool of them, and not all companies would do that. But if you do get a company that's a reputable company, then in most situations you're not going to have a problem. If you're investing money in suitcase or any bag, period, you want to go with makers. You want to go with companies that make bags. That's what they do. You don't really want to go with, I mean, you have, like, I don't know what it is, but you have these clothing manufacturers making luggage bags and whatever. I wouldn't go with them. I would go with a company that's what they do. They specifically they're in the business of making bags. So it makes things a lot easier, especially when you're dealing with customer service and stuff like that. All right, another bag that I use, and I just said that, but this is an Amazon Basic bag. So this is not, obviously, they don't just make bags. Amazon makes, well, they have different products, but they're not in the business of bag or like travel stuff, but they do have travel stuff. The reason, and I will tell you, there's a difference in having a backpack and a carry-on piece of luggage. Like I said, the carry-on piece of luggage, you're going to have wheels on it. You're going to have things that really can keep you from going to the next spot or getting back home. So that's the situation there. One thing about Amazon that I will say is Amazon makes really good products. And the main reason that they make good products, and this is just my personal opinion, is because they have all the information. And when I say they have all the information, and you go on Amazon, you see the products that sell well, and you see the reviews and all that stuff. Amazon has all that information, right? So if they want to make a product, if they want to make this bag, all they need to do is look at all the reviews and look at what's selling and look at what the customer reviews are, what they're saying about what they're saying that they like about the different bags, what they're saying they don't like about the different bags, and then they can create their own bag from that. And that's what they did with this. This is like I don't want to call it a knockoff, but it's like I think it's Osprey. I can't remember the name of the company, but this is a bag that's very similar to that. And I will use this for, I'll use this if I'm traveling, let's say 2 to 3 days. Like on a plane, or even if I'm driving or something like that, I'll use this bag. But for the most part, if it's going to be a long trip, or when I say a long trip, if I'm packing and I need to pack for 5 or 6 days, then I don't go with this bag. And the main reason for that is I can pack enough in here for 5 days, but it's really heavy. And so when I'm walking from place to place, let's say I go to the last place I took this was. I think it was Aruba. So last year I went to Aruba. I took this bag and I packed all my stuff in here, and it was heavy. And I had this bag plus I had my camera bag. So I had my camera bag. So I had this on my back, like, you know, I had the backpack, and then over my shoulder I had my other bag, my camera bag. My camera bag is heavy by itself. So I'm walking around walking around the airport with all this stuff. And the great thing about roller bags is you can just roll them. You don't have to have weight on you. And the bag that I have, the camera bag that I use, I have, it attaches just like this one does. It attaches to the back. So you can't see that, but you have this little strap here, so it attaches to the handle. So you don't have to carry it or anything like that. So this is a good bag for 2 or 3 days. And it has a clamshell opening, just like a suitcase. So that's nice. You can just open it up like that. And then you have a compartment up top here. And I've done a review on all these bags. So if you check out my channel, you'll see I've done a complete review of this. I'm just kind of going over the bags that I use. So it has a compartment up here where you can put all your different little stuff there. Then it also has a laptop compartment on the back side here. So you can unzip it. Where is that laptop? Oh, here it is right here. So you can unzip it, put your laptop in there as well. So this is another really good bag that I use. Now the third bag, I don't use this as often, but it's still a really good bag if I'm going on a trip and I know I'm going to be hiking a lot, then I will use this bag. And this is Tubu, I believe it's called. I think it's Tubu. Yeah, it's a Tubu bag. And I think, let's see, just want to show you the name if I can get it out. I think that's it. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so the Tubu bag, this is perfect for 2 to 3 days. And the reason for it, this is a camera bag. But if I know I'm going to be doing hiking and spending a lot of time out, like walking around and stuff, then I'll take this bag. Now this is a big bag, and it has a compartment in the top here where I can either put camera gear in here, or what I use it for is I put my clothes in here. So I'll put my clothes in the top part here, just push them all down in here, and then I can just cinch it down here. And I get a little extra too, like a little extra space because of the way that this is designed at the top here. So I can put all my clothes up here, and we're talking 2 to 3 days. We're not talking 5 days. And then on these straps, with these straps here, I can use it for my tripod or monopod, or even if I want to use like those walking sticks or anything like that, I can put them up there. And then in the bottom compartment here, and these compartments are separate, the bottom compartment, I can put in all my camera equipment. And you have the little dividers, I just don't have them in there right now. But I can put all my camera equipment in there. And then there is a laptop opening here, so you can put your laptop in there. There's not much padding for your laptop, but you do have a little area to put that. And then at the top here, you can just put a lot of different things, keys and all that stuff. So this is what I'll carry if I know I'm going to be doing a lot of like hiking or walking around. And it's cool too. This thing has a little, I think it's funny, but it has a little whistle on there. So this little chest strap, you have a little whistle in case you need to use a whistle to alert attention, or I guess get a bear, keep a bear from attacking you. You blow a whistle, make a lot of noise. So those are the bags that I use. And you saw that I don't have like a regular suitcase, like a larger than a carry-on, because I very rarely ever, if I do that, I'll just I'll borrow borrow it from my family. Like my parents have like a regular old school bag, but I very rarely ever need to use anything other than a carry-on. If I can pack 5 days, I'm fine, because I'll either go to laundry service or I will stay at an Airbnb where they have washer dryer, and I'll just do it myself. So that's kind of the routine. That's what I do. I don't like checking my bag. That's something that I don't like doing. One of the main reason is I just want to be able to get off the plane and go, and not have to worry about, okay, where's baggage claim, and go get my bag and wait for it. And I just want to hit the road and go. And if I know I'm in a situation where I can pack all my stuff in there 5 to 6 days, then I'm good. I very rarely will I stay, like usually I'll stay between 5 and 8 days is kind of that's kind of the time period that I stay. So I'm fine. I have enough to get me through that with just putting it in the carry-on. So there's no other reason to carry anything else. Okay, so let's see what else we have. Can you still do a bonus? We looked at that in the market for carry-on. So, so answering your question, Mike. I know. I think it was Mike that asked that. No, it was Justin. Okay, so answering your question, Justin. Me personally, I like Delsey. They make really good bags. And as far as if you're going to do the backpack thing, right now it's really affordable to go with the Amazon bag. And Amazon bag is like, I want to say $47 or something. I know it's less than $50 for that bag. That same bag on the other versions of this bag, it's not Amazon's, other companies, they run about $100, $150. Some of them even more. So it's a really good deal. And like I said, when it comes to Amazon products, the Amazon basics, the thing that I like about it is they have all that information, so they know how to make good products. And it's in their best interest to make a good product because they're Amazon. And if you're buying things on Amazon and you have issues with their products, then you might think different of Amazon. So they want to make sure that they make some pretty good products. All right, let's see. I think Sebi has made videos about 2 years. About 2 years, I think. Okay, I don't know what we were talking about there. Let's see. Away travel luggage should give you one to review. Away travel. Okay, away travel luggage. I'm not familiar with them, but Seven's saying away travel luggage. They might give me a bag to review. Now, if you're watching Away Travel, send me something. Just hit me up. I'd be more than happy to review a bag. Let's see. Do you use packing cubes? Yes, I do. So Seven's asking me if I use packing cubes, and I'm not going to go grab those, but I use what a packing cube is basically it's let's pull it up here. It's just a cube where you put all your luggage or clothes and stuff in, and it just allows you to. I don't. For me, it just seems like I can fit more in there, and I don't know if maybe I'm. I don't know. Maybe it seems like I could fit more in a packing cube than when I'm just packing my stuff normally. So I use packing cubes. And so this is what a packing cube is. Now, this is a higher end, like you're going to spend a little more money for these. And they're still not that much, it's $19. But you can get some that are cheaper. But I like going with the more expensive, better quality, like these right here. These are $32. The ones that I bought, I think I actually bought this. Yeah, I think I bought these here. And these are the ones that I bought. So it was $60. That's what I paid for them. Now, the reason why you would want to pay more, is like this one. You can zip it down. So you see, you can expand it if you want, or you can zip it down even tighter. You have the little thing for your shoes there, so that's good. And I think this is the one that has handles too, if it's the same one that I had. Actually, this has two sides to it as well. So if you want to put your clean clothes on one side and then your dirty clothes on the other side, you can have two different sides for it. So that's good. Most of them, and these don't. So these aren't exactly the ones that I bought. I bought some other ones, but the ones that I have a handle on it. So, and I think I showed that in the other one. It has a handle, so you can use the handle. So you could be in a situation where, let's say I need to take out luggage or take out some clothes, and that's another big reason why you want to get packing cubes, because when you open up your suitcase, you can have everything packed neatly. So if I have to open up my suitcase for any reason, I'm going through TSA pre-check and they tell me, or TSA pre-check. If I'm going through the checkpoint and they tell me that I need to open up my bag, I can open it up. Everything is right there. Or if there's a situation where I need to get something out of my bag, I don't have to go through all my clothes to find it. Everything's in packing cubes. And I can also be in a situation where, let's say I'm going and I need something, a shirt. I need to change a shirt, or I need to do something. All I need to do is grab one of the packing cubes, and if it has a little handle on it, I can grab that little handle and take it wherever I need to take it to change. If I'm going, sometimes if I go to a lounge and they have a shower, then I want to shower off, I can take the packing cube. Usually a lot of the lounges will have like lockers, so I can take my bags, my carry-on, put it in the locker, grab this bag with all my clothes and my toiletries and all that, deodorant, all that good stuff. Just take the bag and then walk over and take a shower and then come back. So it just makes it more convenient. I also, the last time that I was in Thailand, we took a trip, and we were only going to be there for a day, but we ended up staying a couple of days. But we drove about an hour and a half away from our hotel, and so I wanted to bring clothes because I knew we were going to stay for at least one day, but I didn't want to have to bring my whole suitcase. So I just did that. I had one of the little packing cubes, took it out, and it's really durable. I mean, it's just like a backpack almost. And I just put all my clothes in there and everything, grabbed that, took it, and that's what I used. So I had that plus my camera bag. So yes, packing cubes, definitely. I use those all the time now. I won't do it the regular way anymore. It's always going to be packing cubes because I want to make sure. And another good thing about packing cubes is that you can pack at any time. Like I'm talking about. Hopefully, if things work out, I get my passport back. I might go to Carnival for a couple of days in Colombia. I can pack now if I want to. I can start washing clothes, start packing, putting everything in my packing cubes now. And then when I'm ready for the trip, I have my packing cubes there. I have everything kind of signed out because I usually kind of have a list of things that I need and put it all in there. and then I can just throw the packing cubes in there and go to my destination. And then once I get to my destination, I don't have to. Usually, I iron my clothes, so because I use that whole roll method, so I roll my clothes. So when I get to a destination, I usually iron my clothes, but I don't do it the same when I first get there. So all I need to do is 3 packing cubes is usually what I'll carry. Take those 3 packing cubes out, put them in the drawers. I'm unpacked. Put my suitcase under the bed or wherever, in the closet, and I'm good. So yeah, packing cubes, I definitely recommend looking into those. Let's see, Briggs and Riley is a reputable company. I don't know anything about that, but yeah, if it's a suitcase company, usually you're going to be fine with warranties and all that. They're usually going to be pretty good. They have good warranty, but their bags are expensive, and you're going to have to pay. When it comes to a really good piece of luggage, I've had this Delsey bag for, it's been about 5 years now. It's been fine. Haven't had any issues other than the zipper pull, which they replaced. I haven't had any issues with it. So it's an investment, and I would definitely go with spending the money. And this bag, it's like $200. Let's see how much it is. Might even be less than that. I think it was like $100. So it's not that expensive. $150. $130. Let's see. Okay, here it is right here. $115 is what it is. So it's not that expensive. And when you look at bags, you're probably gonna spend at least that much. Let me show you guys here. You're probably gonna spend at least that much for the bag, for a decent bag, a decent suitcase. So this is similar to the one that I have. It's not exact. I don't see the one that I have, the exact one that I have. So, but it has it's the same setup here. You see, if I can get it to stop jumping around here, you see it has a little compartment here where I can throw my laptop and stuff like that. And that was a big thing for me. I don't know. I just wanted to be able to put my laptop easily accessible, so I can just pull it out and use it, put it back in there, and go about my business. So yeah, so it's not that expensive, but it's a very good company. So just something to consider, something to look at. And I'll post a link. So if you're watching this after the live stream, I'll post a link in the description so you guys can check out that bag. It is an affiliate link for the bag, so it does help the channel. So I'll put that up for you guys. All right. Let's see. What other questions do we have? Okay. Do you know when they reopen the Citi Prestige card? I don't know. Yeah, we just talked about that, Javier, as far as reopening or relaunching, giving the new bonus. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that card. So the Citi Prestige card, they announced back, several months ago, a few months ago, about their new plans and their new benefits and all that stuff. And it sounds good. There were some things that they kind of pulled back on. The 4th night free, they're only going to allow you to do that twice a year. So they are making some changes. However, okay, I just lost the train of thought. They haven't announced the new bonus, like the bonus structure and all that. So it'll be interesting to see. All right, 7. I don't think Amazon makes bags. Yeah, well, they probably don't. It's coming from China, but it's Amazon approved, right? But yes, I will speak from my experience with the Amazon Basic bag, and I'm not a sponsor, or they're not sponsoring me or anything, but that bag has been really good. I haven't had any issues with it. All right, FOI, your referral link don't appear to work. What referral link did I have on there, Justin? I am not sure. Oh, the one for the... What did I put a referral link for? And if it's on my... Let's see. Just let me know what referral link you're talking about, and I'll look into it. I think the referral link's on... Yeah, let me know what you're talking about. I'll see if I can if I can remedy that or fix it. So yeah, so that's it. When it comes to travel, the bags that I use, that's kind of the routine that I have. And I don't really foresee getting another bag at this point. I think I'm pretty satisfied with what I have. I don't use, there's certain bags I don't really use very often, like that Tubu bag that I showed you, the one that I use for hiking and stuff like that. I don't really use it because it's not a bag that's practical for airfare, for flying. And I took it out once on a trip where I flew, I think the Medellin trip when I did the Medellin trip, I took it. And it is a big bag. And when you pack it with your clothes and the bags and all that stuff, I had like, basically, you know, when you put your stuff in the overhead bin. So I put my stuff in the overhead bin, but the bin is still open. You know how how they do it. So you walk through, you just put your stuff in, then you have a seat. So I put my stuff in there and I had a seat, and then I looked up and I could see that it was like coming out to where it looked like they wouldn't be able to close it. And it barely fit. So when the lady and the flight attendant, she came in and pulled it down and it didn't shut. And then she kind of like pushed it in a little bit and then pulled it down and it shut. And so it barely fits in that space. And that was an international flight. That was just a regular, I mean, that was our flight from Los Angeles to Fort Lauderdale. And then from Fort Lauderdale, then we flew to Colombia. So after that, I made some changes where I pulled out some stuff and kind of situated it so that top portion wasn't sticking out that much, because the top portion was sticking out and it wasn't allowing it to shut. So I had to make some adjustments. But that bag is very, very big. So if you have your camera equipment and you have all your clothes and stuff in there, it's just too much. So I had that, plus I had another camera bag with me. So I'll only use that Tubu bag if I'm going to travel locally, if I'm driving somewhere and I need to have a camera bag, because this bag is not practical. It's good for hiking, but it's not practical if I want to walk around the city. I mean, it's just overkill. It's too much stuff, and it's drawing attention to you. One thing I do want to talk about too, since we were talking about safety, a lot of these bags, they're designed with safety in mind when it comes to what am I trying to say? When it comes to the way that they design the bag, they design it for safety, and some of these safety features, like this bag, for the most part, it's safe, but it's not safe, because right here, you know, you have this stuff back here. So if I have this on my back, people can just jump in there and grab stuff out. So I never have anything of importance back here. And you also have this compartment here on the side, which if you want, and this is quick access. This is good for if you're out hiking and stuff like that. You don't want to have to take your backpack off in order to get your camera out, so you can just open it up through the side here. And so if I have the backpack on, I can flip it under me. I don't know if that makes sense, but you can kind of flip it out this way. So let's say it's on my back is right here, and then I can just kind of flip the bag this way and then grab the camera that I need to grab and then flip it back, so I don't have to take it off my back. The only thing is, this is great for someone if they want to steal your stuff. They can just open the zipper up, grab your bag, or grab your camera and take off running. So in most situations, you probably want to have a lock on this and just not use it if you're in the city. So just lock them together. What's good about this bag is the compartment to get to your camera equipment. It's the same compartment, but if you want to get to your camera equipment the traditional way, there's a zipper, but the zipper's inside here, so you open it up this way. So if it's on your back, there's no way for them to get in there. So that's good. But like I said, you would have to lock this down, this side part down. That way they can't get in from this side. And then you'd have to get in from there. And then at the top here, I just don't put camera equipment in there. So I'll throw clothes and stuff in there if I'm out. So basically what I'm saying is this is not the ideal bag for walking the streets, but if I did have to walk the streets, I'm going to make sure at the top part, the top portion here, I'm just going to have a sweater, whatever, jacket in top here. Nothing that's going to be really expensive. And then the rest of the stuff I can put in the back here, up against my back. So, and when you look at different bags and stuff like that, for the most part, they're going to have some safety features, because I know if you're traveling, you're going to be out in areas where you could be subject to be robbed, or someone could try to pickpocket you or stuff like that. All right, let's see. FYI, the referral links don't appear to work. Okay, thanks. Would recommend having both SPG personal card and the SPG luxury. Do you know if you can use the anniversary night during the same stay? SPG. I'm not sure about SPG, so I don't know if someone else answered that question for you. Yes, my goal was to get the SPG personal luxury card to stack my reward nights. Okay, so we're talking about SPG. Javier, because both cards have annual fees, have a card like the Freedom Unlimited and the Sapphire Reserve, I would be fine because it is free. Okay, so you guys are talking about a topic I'm not I'm not understanding everything you're talking about. So let's see. For me, the free nights out, annual fee, even the SPG business card raised 125 year. Okay, so you guys have helped each other out, I guess. Answered Javier's question. Let's see. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. And if you, like I said, I never got the referral link. I don't know if maybe someone else tried to put out a referral link. I didn't see, but yeah, I don't see the referral link. But if you do have issues with the referral links, just let me know. Put it up in the comments later if you're not able to do it right in this second. And I'll check my referral links to see if that's what you're referring to. And I'll also put a referral link for the Delsey bag if you're interested in that. But I'm just, like I said, I only speak on things that I know. And I know that bag has been good to me, as well as the Amazon bag's also been really good. So I'm going to sign off now. Thank you guys all for stopping by. Let's see, okay, Justin just responded, Hyatt CC referral in your description. Oh, that one doesn't work, huh? And is it just not coming up? Let me do a quick little check here. Let's see here. Okay, so I'll check it out, Justin. And if it's not working, then I'll post a new one that should work. And let's see, I don't want to get feedback here. Let's see. I'll just check it right now since I'm here. World of Hype. No, the system issues. Please try again later. Huh. Yeah, I see that. It's saying that there's a system issue. Don't know what that system issue is. Hopefully they can remedy that. The link looks like it's a good link. It just looks like there's some issues going on right now with their servers, I guess. That's all I can think of. I'll check it, like in an hour. I'll check it again. If it doesn't work, then I'll update it and see if that changes things. But all the referral links should be fine. They should be working. And the World of Hyatt card is a pretty good card if you're looking into getting a hotel card. And like I said, Hyatt, for me, Hyatt's good. Like the only downfall when it comes to Hyatt is they don't have as many hotels. So you do run into some situations, very few, but you do run into some situations where you might want to go to stay at a certain place, certain city, and you might not be able to stay in that city because there's no hotel there. All the major cities, they have hotels at all the major cities. But if you want to stay somewhere, a smaller city, then you might run into some issues. Even Larger cities like Medellin in Colombia, there's no Hyatt there. So that, you do have to take that in consideration. However, like I said, when it comes to Medellin, you're going to probably want to stay in Airbnb anyways, because the large hotel chains they're in more of the business area, business district. So you want to stay in El Poblado, which is more where the nightlife is and everything. So, all right. So that is all I have for you guys today. Please, if you guys are on right now, please give me a like if you like this video. And if you're watching the video after, please give me a like. It just helps push up this video into the YouTube algorithm so more people can see it. And every Sunday I'm going to be putting out a video. So the more people that come in here, the better. Just like there was a conversation going on where Javier had a question and they were able to help him out with his question. I don't have all the answers. I just come on here and try to talk to you about my experiences. And if I don't know something, I'm going to tell you I don't know, because I don't want to give you wrong information. So if I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. But I'm telling you, for the most part, if I don't know the answer, there's people on here that do have information. They know the answers. So they'll be able to help you out as well. So I hope you guys liked it. Please subscribe. Hit that little bell notification too, so you can get notified every time I put out a video. Generally, I put out videos during the week. So I'll put out regular videos during the week where I'll review different credit cards. I'll review cameras. And I'll also talk about just different destination travel. And then passport stuff too. I have a couple of videos coming out about passports because I think that's very interesting too, just how to get a passport. So I'll kind of walk you through the steps, how to get a passport, how to renew your passport. And you should always consider, even if you don't have any travel plans, get a passport. And the main reason for this is once you get a passport, then you start thinking, oh, wow, I want to go here, I want to go there. And I think we all have that travel bug in us where we want to kind of venture out. And it's kind of like, it reminds me of like when I was younger and you playing in the front yard, and then you get a skateboard, and then you get a skateboard or a bike, and then you start going around the block, and then you get a car, and then you start going around the city, and then you start going even further with your car, and then you figure out, oh, I can get on a plane and go even further. And then you start doing that, and then you get to the point where you want to leave the country. So you get a passport and you start doing that. But you start thinking about it once you get the passport. That's the way I was. Like, I didn't really think about leaving the country until I got a passport. And once I got a passport, then it was like, wow, you mean I can go way over here or go over there? So get that passport. So I have a video, I'm editing it right now, and I'm gonna put it out where it just talks about that whole process. And it's very easy, and it costs anywhere from $110 to $145 or something like that. But it's worth the investment. You have it for 10 years. It's an additional ID for you. It shows your citizenship. There's no reason at this point that you shouldn't get one. You should definitely look into getting one. Is there a credit card that pays, I think you said pays for a passport? I don't know of one that pays for a passport. They usually do like Global Entry or TSA PreCheck. Usually they'll do those, but I don't know of one that will pay for your passport. But it's not that much money for most people, $145 to have something. Like I said, you'll have it for 10 years. So it's really a good investment. So I just got my parents to get a passport last year, and my dad is 84 years old. He just got a passport for the first time. So that's crazy to think about. Like, my father's never left the country other than like on a cruise. Like, he's gone on cruises before where you go to like Mexico. But other than that, he's never flown anywhere out of the country. So, all right, that's all I have for you guys.